beautiful people. This is a poem by Andrea Gibson. She is a poet from Denver. She won the Women of the World Poetry Slam the first time it ever happened. It's called Say Yes. When two violins are placed in a room, if a chord on one violin is struck, the other violin will sound the note. If this is your definition of hope, this is for you. The ones who know how powerful we are, who know we can sound the music and people around us simply by playing our own strings. For the ones who sing life into broken wings, open their chests and offer their breath as wind on a still day when nothing seems to be moving. Spare those intent on proving God is dead. For you, when your fingers are red from clutching your heart so it will beat faster. For the time you mastered the art of giving yourself for the sake of someone else. For the ones who have felt what it is to crush the lies and lift truth so high the steeples bow to the sky. This is for you. This is also for the people who wake early to watch flowers bloom, who notice the moon at noon on a day when the world has slapped them in the face with its lack of light, for the mothers who feed their children first and thirst for nothing when they're full. This is for women, and for the men who have taught me that only women bleed with the moon, but there are men who cry when women bleed, men who bleed from women's wounds, and this is for the moon, on the nights she seems hung by a noose, for the people who cut her loose, and for the people still waiting for the rope to burn, about to learn they have scissors in their hands. This is for the man who showed me the hardest thing about having nothing is having nothing to give, who said the only reason we live is to give ourselves away. So this is for the day we will quit our jobs and work for something real. We'll feel for sunshine in the shadows, look for sun rays in the shade. This is for the people who rattle the cage that slave wage built, and for the ones who didn't know the filth until tonight. But right now are beginning songs that sound something like people turning their porch lights on and calling the homeless back home. This is for all the crap we own, and for the day we'll learn how much we have. When we learn to give that crap away, this is for the doubt becoming faith, for falling from grace and climbing back up, for trading silver platters for something that matters, like the gold that shines from our hands when we hold each other. This is for the grandmother who walked 1,000 miles on broken glass to find that single patch of grass to plant a family tree where the fruit would grow to laugh. For the ones who know the math of war has always been subtraction, so they live like an action of addition. For you, when you give like every star is wishing on you, and for the people still wishing on stars, this is for you too. This is for the times you went through hell so someone else wouldn't have to, for the time you taught a 14-year-old girl she was powerful. This is for the time you've taught a 14-year-old boy he was beautiful. For the radical anarchist asking a Republican to dance, because what's the chance of everyone moving from right to left if the only moves they see are NBC and CBS? This is for the no becoming yes, for scars becoming breath, for saying I love you to people who will never say it to us, for scraping away the rust and remembering how to shine, for the dime you gave away when you didn't have a penny, for the many beautiful things we do, for every song we've ever sung, for refusing to believe in miracles because miracles are the impossible coming true and everything is possible. This is for the possibility that guides us and for the possibilities still waiting to sing and spread their wings inside us, because tonight Saturn is on his knees proposing with all of his 10,000 rings that whatever song we've been singing, we sing even more. The world needs us right now more than it ever has before. Pull all your strings, play every chord. If you're writing letters to the prisoners, start tearing down the bars. If you're handing out flashlights in the dark, start handing out stars. Never go a second hushing the percussion of your heart. Play loud. Play like you know the clouds have left too many people cold and broken and you're their last chance for sun. Play like there's no time for hoping brighter days will come. Play like the apocalypse is only 4, 3, 2, but you have a drum in your chest that could save us. You have a song like a breath that could raise us, like the sunrise into a dark sky that cries to be blue. Play like you know we won't survive if you don't, but we will if you do. Play like Saturn is on his knees, proposing with all of his 10,000 rings that we give every single breath. This is for saying yes. This is for saying yes.
Beautiful. All right, now finally we have Michael Joseph introducing Bishop Gene Robinson.
No, Dos Amigos.
Do you know if they came yet?
I haven't seen them. I don't think they've actually come yet.
Good afternoon.
I'm not sure if they
I am here to proudly introduce someone who really needs no introduction.
What?
A little bit of background. About 9 years ago,
It might have.
about 9 years ago, the people of the Episcopal Diocese of New Hampshire knew that they needed a shepherd, a leader who was a good theologian, who understood God, understood Jesus, understood the way the Gospels are written, and they certainly were able to do that. And I will tell you, they knew something else that's very important. That whether you consider Jesus a historical figure or a vibrant, alive figure, they knew and they know that he's open to everyone, that he accepts everyone, and that he loves everyone. So, without further ado, I give you Bishop Gene Robinson.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for coming down. By the way, if the skies open up and you get drenched, it only means God agrees with me. And would you also greet my husband, Mark Andrew, who's sitting right over there? Say hello to him. I am delighted to be here. I wish I had written my speech in poetry. I feel a little out of place. But I want to talk with you seriously just for a minute. There are lots of things to be learned here today, and you can learn them from the people around you. I've learned that I want my hair to look like Andre's with the red on top. I'm going to do that next. There we go. I noticed that a lot of you are young, and I would expect that you in your short lives have gotten rather cynical about government. And there's a lot to be cynical about these days, but I want to appeal to you that the most important outcome of your having been here today is that you register to vote and that you vote. I won't ask you to raise your hands if you're not registered, but I want to tell you that if you care about what happens to lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender people, the most important thing you can do is to vote in November. And in order to vote, you need to be registered to vote. Whatever you think about government, it is what makes our lives possible and what makes our lives safe. And our lives as LGBT people are not safe. Not in New Hampshire and not in America. We have made great strides in New Hampshire. And it's easy for us to live in this little bubble where we have marriage equality and where, for the most part, we are blessed and we are privileged to be LGBT people living in New Hampshire. But there are many people in our legislature who want to take those rights away from us. And they have vowed to come back again and again and again to take them away from us. And the only thing that can stop them are good people in the legislature who will stop them. You can't not vote and then whine the day after the election about how awful everything turned out. So please go home, go to your town clerk, get registered to vote, and vote. It's also simply true, perhaps even more true today with the vice presidential running mate for the Republican Party having just been announced, that the national elections affect what you and I are able to do and be as LGBT people. And I encourage you to pay attention and to look at what the two parties have to say about your life and my life and our freedom to be who we were created to be. Don't take this lightly. Don't exist here in this wonderful New Hampshire bubble and think that everything is going to be all right without your vote. It is so important. And for those of you who are religious people, like me, and some of us are blessed to belong to denominations that affirm us and welcome us and accept us, and some of us belong to denominations that don't, and we need to keep up those efforts to call Christians and Jews and Muslims to their best selves. God created you and me the way we are and loves us as we are beyond anything we can imagine. And we cannot let our religious institutions continue to push themselves onto the secular state and use those religious arguments to deny us our liberties and our freedoms. So, and by the way, come out as religious people to your gay friends. Sometimes I think it's harder to come out as religious in the gay community than it is to come out as gay to the straight community. Come out as gay, unashamedly and unashamedly religious, unashamedly a believer. And we will change not only the secular state, but we will change the religious institutions that we belong to. So I want to just close with a quick story from here in New Hampshire about this importance of expressing ourselves in our vote. There's an old guy up on Lake Winnipesaukee who just had fantastic luck fishing. I mean, this guy could catch fish when nobody else was catching fish. And as a matter of fact, they were going through a really dry period and no one was catching anything. But this guy kept coming in every day with his limit. And some of his friends decided that maybe there was something up here, so they called the Fish and Game Department and had an undercover guy come up and ask to fish with this old guy. And he said sure, and they went out in a boat together and gathered in a little cove where the fisherman said he always caught good stuff. And he opened up his tackle box and took out a stick of dynamite and lit it and tossed it into the water. It was a huge explosion, and hundreds of fish came floating up to the surface. And he began to collect them off the top of the water and put them in the boat. And the undercover Fish and Game guy took out his badge and showed it to him and said, "You're under arrest." The old guy didn't seem to be fazed at all. He just opened up the tackle box again and took out another stick of dynamite, lit it, and tossed it to the game warden and said, "So, are you going to fish or are you just going to sit there?" My question to you is, are you just going to sit there or are you going to vote? Are you going to register and vote and keep LGBT equality in New Hampshire? If you don't, if I don't, we could lose it. Don't ever forget that. So this fall, get active, talk to your friends, tell them that if they vote against LGBT rights, they're voting against you. And it is important for us all to register our voice, no matter how discouraged you are when you look at government. It is the one thing that will make our lives safe. We deserve it as citizens of New Hampshire and as citizens of this great country. So, do something for yourself, do something for all of us, vote. Thanks very much.
That was great, Bishop. All right, now we're gonna have some fun. We're gonna have a drag show happen right now, a lot of dancing, And you guys should all come up to the front of the stage and have an immersive experience with these lovely ladies. Now, I want to thank you to all the speakers, and let me introduce to you somebody here that put in a lot of blood, sweat, tears, you know, just really, she's just bones now because she excreted so much to put this together. And we should thank her for it. And thank you all for supporting. You all individuals supporting this event. So I give you now Sabrina Hex.
Doctor, need you back home, baby. Doctor, where you at? Give me something. I need your love, I need your love, I need your loving. You got that kind of medicine that keep me calm. My body needs a hero, come save me. Something tells me you know how to save me. I've been feeling real, oh, I need you to come and rescue me. Super high. If I scream, if I cry,